So the Sony A7 II was one of the first cameras that I bought. It was the first Sony camera that I bought, and it was like the second camera that I had ever. Now that was back in 2019 when the Sony A7 II wasn't like top of the market, but it wasn't kind of as bottom of the barrel as it is now. Nowadays we have so many other options to choose from with the A7 III, the A7C, the A7S series, the new A7 IV. There's just so many other options out there that the Sony A7 II kind of just gets put on the back burner. But in 2015 when this camera was released, it was 100% one of the best cameras on the market. And some of those features are still pretty prominent today. For example, it has a 24.3 megapixel sensor that can capture high quality images, and it has a relatively good dynamic range. It can film at 1080 resolution in 60 frames a second, which is almost kind of comparable to the Sony A7 III, because the Sony A7 III doesn't shoot 4K 60, the best it does is 1080 60, but with that the Sony A7 II doesn't actually shoot in 4K at all. So the best it does is 1080. But if you're just looking at frame rate, it is pretty comparable to the A7 III. It's an extremely durable camera. For instance, I took it to Iceland where it rained, I think 8 out of the 10 days that I was there, and I never had any problems with the electronics on the camera. When it was getting wet and when I was using it in dirt and mud and just all sorts of situations. It never had any problems. It did great. Actually, my Sony A7 II kind of died when I dropped it in a waterfall. Actually, technically, it didn't even die. The only thing that broke on it was the actual screen. So the screen didn't work, but the viewfinder and the camera electronics still worked. It still would take pictures, it still would film video, and it had no problems. The only thing that broke was actually the monitor itself. So it really wasn't even that bad, to be honest. For me, this was a fantastic beginner camera. It was a camera that I just absolutely loved, and I think at the time it was a perfect camera that fit my needs literally to a T. It was like two puzzle pieces came together and just fit perfectly. If I was going to suggest someone to buy the A7 II, I probably wouldn't. I probably would suggest the A7 III. Relative to the price and the output of the two cameras, I really believe that the A7 III has just way more to offer at a comparable price range. For instance, Best Buy is still selling the A7 II for $1,500, which I find just absolutely ridiculous. That makes no sense to me at all. In my opinion, this is a $600 to $700 camera, maybe brand new. I think I bought mine for $850 in 2019. So for people to be selling it for more now, it doesn't really connect, like it doesn't make sense at all to me. Usually prices go down over time, but for some reason with this camera, that's not the case. So if I were a beginner just getting into photography, I would absolutely not go with the A7 II. I would 100% go with the A7 III in 2023. And obviously, if you want to do a little bit better, I would maybe go with the A7 IV if you can afford it. But honestly, like the A7 III has so many good things going on with it. I mean, it's a great camera. I used it for years, really dynamic, really durable. Pretty much all the great things that I said about the A7 II, it has that and more. If I were to buy a camera today, it would be the A7 III as opposed to the A7 II. Anyways, with that, that's gonna be it for me. If you guys have any questions about the A7 II or any other cameras, please leave them down in the comments below. I try to answer every single one of your guys' comments. So yeah, anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Later.